Xbox is to release the next Xbox in 2026. At least that's what all signs are pointing towards. Look, their Xbox Game Showcase was a massive success this past weekend. The current generation's series of consoles have been huge, but believe it or not, we're already 4 years into this series of consoles. Unfortunately, though, they're kind of, when it comes to Xbox, been on kind of the downside of things. Something that was kind of glossed over during the showcase was what Sarah Bond, the president of Xbox, kind of said. She goes, "This is what defines Xbox today and in the future, and we're hard at work on the next generation." And here's what she says.
Today and in the future, and we're hard at work on the next generation.
So, she says that during the presentation, we're hard at work on the next generation, and we're at year 4. Now, typically, 6 years is a good turning point for a generation. So why do I think 2026 is a good year for that? Now, believe it or not, like I said, we're 4 years in. Xbox Series X and S has been kind of way behind. They've only sold, as of February of this past year, they've only sold 27.7 million units. Xbox Series X and S, while PS5 has sold 52.65. So they're way behind in sales. Add to that how Sony is rumored to be on the verge of unveiling their PlayStation 5 Pro. That's going to push the capabilities of their current generation to the limits, as well as boost their sales numbers even higher. And, believe it or not, that's going to kind of put them on a track of staying relevant in this generation for at least another 2 or 3 years. And if they release that this year, the end of 2024, you could probably see them lasting until 2027, 2028 before they release a PlayStation 6. So where does that put Xbox? Because there's no rumor of an Xbox Pro, an Xbox Series XX, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, they're going to add higher digital or new digital consoles like they're doing this year, maybe higher storage, even different color models. They may be doing that, that's all well and good. But here's the thing. If what Sarah Bond says is true, there's no reason not to believe her that all the hardware, that they're hard at work on this new hardware. And there's no reason not to believe her. And 2026 makes sense. It would be ambitious, but it would absolutely be industry shaking. It would change the landscape of Xbox and PlayStation moving forward, and in a good way, for both companies as well as the consumer. Imagine, if you will, PlayStation 5 Pro releases holiday season of 2024. It becomes the most powerful console on the market. Sony knows they have won this generation, which does that really matter at this point? And honestly, everyone knows this. But when it comes to hardware sales, whatever, it's fine. But through 2025, Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond and the team at Xbox continue to not only build the best gaming library with Game Pass, but also a new console that will change the world. Now, if you watched my last video, I do believe in 2025 we are going to get an Xbox handheld system to kind of hold them over. That's going to be something different to kind of rival Nintendo. But they're not really in that game to really rival Nintendo. I think they're in it to rival or to kind of just give another option for the gamers out there. Where things get interesting is in spring of 2026, Xbox will announce their next console for release during that holiday season. It will be huge for them. Huge. Why? Because it is the 25th anniversary of the original Xbox. What is a better way than to celebrate 25 years of Xbox than with the release of a new Xbox? Makes sense. But how would this change the industry for the better? Well, I guess, yeah, it's a little far-fetched that we're going to get a new system that fast, but maybe. But think about it. Let's say that we start seeing leapfrogs for these generation of consoles. So Xbox releases in 2026. Let's say Sony releases in 2028. That gives 2 years for the consumers to get an Xbox Series or Xbox new console. They get that console. They can play, get the new games. 2 years later, then they're going to get the Sony console. And then, that gives time. That spreads the wealth, the joy. Look, every console, every company wants the dollar of the consumer. And look, it took me a while to get the Xbox Series X. I still would like to get a PlayStation because there's a few games I want on it, but I just got the X this year. I did have an S for a bit, but I wanted the X because I wanted the more of the power. So, that's kind of how I look at you can see how it could benefit everything. I don't know. I think it's 2026. Now, then again, I could be overthinking this, and maybe their handheld is going to be their big console. Maybe they go the Nintendo route and make a handheld home console type of combination like Nintendo did, and everything just gets pushed to 2026 and it'll be a handheld home console type of thing. Or maybe they will do both. I don't know, but what are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen? When do you think the next Xbox is going to come out? Do you think it'll be 2026 at their 25th anniversary like I do? Or do you think it'll be later than that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And with all that said, I will catch you all later.